We have a couple of trades today in the NHL, both involving the Ottawa Senators. They've picked up players from the Winnipeg Jets and the Carolina Hurricanes. We'll discuss these moves coming up next. Well, welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. As I mentioned, we have some NHL trades to discuss. Now, some of you might be saying, well, the NHL trade deadline just passed last week. Why and how are we seeing more deals? Well, it doesn't prevent teams from making trades. It just prevents teams from getting players on their roster for the current NHL season. So these both deals involve players that the Senators will, for now at least, place in their American Hockey League affiliated team, the Belleville Senators, and are players that they can kind of have a sneak peek and look at to see if they're guys they want to keep around for their organization to add some more depth for next year or beyond. So essentially, like I said, trades can happen. It just impacts who can play at the NHL level and in the playoffs right now for the rest of this year. So the first trade we have is the Senators picked up Wyatt Bongiovanni from the Winnipeg Jets organization. He's a 24-year-old center. He was not drafted. He was an undrafted college free agent signing from Quinnipiac University. He played 4 full seasons there. He's been 2 years pro, both in the American Hockey League. Not super huge numbers. I think, if anything, he would be more of a defensive player, more of a bottom six kind of guy. But Bongiovanni's put up numbers to be hovering around about 0.5 points per game. So he has I think he's appeared so far this year in just over 30 games and has 15 points. So a player obviously that the Jets don't mind parting with. He also seems to have demonstrated good leadership abilities during his time in college hockey, being the Quinnipiac team captain for a while as well. So somebody that the Sens can kind of get a free look at here for the last stretch of the season and determine if it's somebody they want to keep around or not. The other player I think is a little bit more upside, a little bit better chance of sticking around and maybe carving out a small NHL role. It's difficult to say, but they've picked up Jameson Rees from the Carolina Hurricanes. He was drafted back in 2019. He was a second-round pick at that point. He's currently 23 years old, and he normally does play center ice. So obviously, center is the area that they've been kind of beefing up on, so to speak, here. Bongiovanni, who they picked up from the Jets, also plays center. Last year in the American Hockey League, he put up a career-high 42 points in 65 AHL games. He split this year between Chicago and Springfield. Bigger bulk of the games playing for Springfield. Now, the problem here is the Carolina Hurricanes do not have a dedicated AHL affiliate team. It's been a very challenging season for their prospects, and the prospects are all over the place, constantly playing with different people. He's had to change teams a couple of times, and I think he's just a victim of a poor set of circumstances there. So I think he's a player who could definitely benefit from a change of scenery. I still think he has some hope of making the NHL. I don't see him being a high-end NHL player, but he could be a bottom six guy that the Sens want to keep around. I would not be shocked because I believe his contract's expiring. He is a pending restricted free agent, so he will need a new deal. I can see them maybe giving him another year, if nothing else, to improve their depth within Belleville and to see if there's a possibility that he could be a call-up option for them next season. But in all cases here, I think both of these moves were really done as bulking up their depth for the Belleville Senators franchise. Obviously, they want that team to get into playoffs and hopefully have some success. We know that that experience down there from some of these guys to have success in the playoffs is very important to their development for sure. The Senators have also had to recall more players than they probably would have liked here recently, especially at the center position. Of course, with Norris being down for the rest of the year, we've seen a case of Rourke Chartier being out for a few weeks here too. Ostapchuk's been recalled. They've had more guys up to the NHL that they probably didn't bank on, and ultimately probably found themselves feeling a little bit thin. At least thinner than they would have liked at the AHL level. The AHL teams also had a fair share of injuries too on top of that. So you combine those two things, makes sense why they went out and did these deals. Are they earth-shattering news, organizational changing deals? No, but they will help the depth for the Belleville team. And I think in the case of Rees especially, wouldn't be surprising if they decide to keep him around for another season just to see if there's still any last hope of development that he can become an NHL player. There's still a lot of moving parts within the Sens' bottom six moving forward for next season especially, and there's going to be some jobs up for grabs. He could be a guy that sticks around and tries to compete for one. Hard to say what his odds are, but at this point, like I said, you're basically, you gave up a 6th-round pick to the Hurricanes for him. Pretty small package there for a chance to see what you might get. So let me know your thoughts on these deals down in the comments. We'll discuss further. I'll be back in a little bit here with another news video recapping the rest of today's news and rumors from around the entire NHL. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.